Having read a lot of harem manga in the past degenerate decade, I've become accustomed to seeing the same formula play over and over again. Gather your favorite date type in front of a fireplace, add an oblivious or a smart MC, throw a reason for their meeting, and voila, you can now start your harem story. And it's a formula that works and will always work. It can always be seasoned with all kinds of condiments to elevate it from the standard. You know how they say, if it isn't broken, then don't change it, right? Now, some series cannot detach themselves from the limitations of this formula, and they often fall flat. They try to add a bit of seasoning to it, but they mistake salt for sugar. On the other hand, you can pull a Nisio Ishin card, embrace the tropes of your characters, and then show the audience how much you can evolve and develop those characters to the point where nobody will remember that they've started as a trope. Season that with some mystery and oh boy, relish in the success. And so, what is Megami no Café Terrace about, and under which category does it fall? Well, our boy Hayato inherited his grandmother's business, a cafe, and needs to face the hardships that come with running a dying business. His unwanted support comes from the 5 girls who ran the place under his grandmother: Oka, Ami, Akane, Shiragiku, and Riho, who also happen to live in his now house. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how a new bond is created, following the adventure of these 6 people trying to resurrect the family business. Now, this is the standard formula, right? We got 5 different girls, a guy, a reason for them to interact and also live together. Pretty nicely tied up. The 2 questions left are, what is it seasoned with? And do they pull a Nisio Ishin card? And I'll happily tell you that it's seasoned with the you can never go wrong type of mystery. One of the girls has met Hayato before during their childhood and share a history together, but what kind of history? And also, in the flash forward chapter, we learn that Hayato married one of the girls and they have a daughter together. Now, who did he marry? It's also implied that something might have happened to his wife, so what happened? It's a combination of these classic type of mysteries that make the journey so much more exciting. Because every chapter can hold a clue, every interaction can lead to something. I'm having quintessential quintuplets flashbacks right now, but I think it's a positive feeling. I love this type of mystery because it's simple yet engaging. Do it well and you cannot miss. Now, what about the Nisio Ishin card? Does this manga pull it? Yes, of course it does. I don't think the answer surprised anybody. Hayato does actually start off really solid. He's witty and a bit of a jerk, but in control of himself. He's a very capable guy that deals with genuine struggles, and it's refreshing to see that he actually communicates ordinarily with the girls. No blush, no stutter, no hiding annoying misunderstandings that could be resolved by just talking. He confronts them when they're messing around, genuinely supports them when they need it, and he doesn't take their shit. This guy should be the staple for how to write a harem protagonist. I mean, in general, Seo Koji's protagonists are quite good, at least good at what they're supposed to do. But Hayato is also attention grabbing. You want to see more of him and follow his journey rather than the girls. His page presence is also weirdly comfortable. Like, whatever he talks about or whatever he does is just so easy to follow. I'm really pleased with Hayato as a protagonist. Now, the girls do start as the heaviest tropes you could ever imagine. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, you cannot get any more tropey than this. They also do some irritating things, ecchi-wise, very unnecessary. That kind of took me by surprise, in a negative way, not gonna lie. For example, after what was supposed to be a touching bonding moment between Hayato and this girl Riho, all of a sudden she shows him her panties. My girl, what the fuck? The good thing is that Akane doesn't do that though. She's the best girl from start to finish. Okay, maybe she has her stupid moments, but the other 4 don't slide smoothly at the start, and at the start is the phrase here because they quickly drop their tropes appearance and their baity ecchi behavior that was most likely used to attract an audience. Don't ask me why, but it seems like ecchi is the go-to in Japan. They do hold onto their prominent traits throughout the series, but they do not thrive on those traits alone. They're quite well grounded and behave in a realistic manner, and you'll see why the realistic behavior is important a bit later. For example, Akane has this calm and collected attitude, a bit reserved at times, a bit teasy. You get the sensation that she's quite mature and level-headed for her age. But then you discover her secret. She's singing in a band, she's a lot more explosive than she let me believe. But she's also super flustered when Hayato finds out about her secret, because now he can tease her back. Tease her about the lyrics of her songs, about her attitude on the stage and stuff like that. She becomes a bit more sociable, opens up a bit more, smiles a bit more, and so you think this is her true self. A rebel girl without a care in the world that chases her dream. But then you find out more. You find about the immense pressure her family puts on her to force her to work in their company, about the strict image they want Akane to have. No more dyed hair, no more stylish clothes, no more informal speech, but you'd think, given her rebel persona, that she would fight against this pressure, right? No. She's actually scared of her mother, she cannot talk back to her, which gives birth to this interesting internal conflict. Akane doesn't really know what to do with her life. Or take Riho, that face a tsundere through and through, who has a tendency to work too hard and push herself to the brink of collapsing because of the stress she puts on her body. And setting her tsundere aspect aside for a bit, I was always wondering, why does she push herself so hard? What is she trying to accomplish? What's the reason behind that? For sure, I did not expect to learn that she used to be a prodigy child actress, of all things, that would overwork just so she can please her mother. But then, we also find out that it was in direct conflict with her father's intentions, as he did not want his daughter to overwork, which left Riho confused. Should she push herself to please her mother, or take it easy to please her father? That conflict not only broke her family, which resulted in a divorce, but it stuck with her throughout her life. She pushes herself because that's what she thinks will please the people around her, but she also worries that she puts too much effort when people tell her to relax and slow down. The bottom line is that they act like normal girls. Well, most of them. Which may be an odd thing to say, I guess, since they are supposed to act like that. But it is actually not that common in manga to have this type of characters with flaws and conflicts that they're trying to suppress, get on with their lives, and slowly overcome parts of them. In general, a character would have a conflict that, once solved, usually through a character arc, leaves them with nothing else. Their development is done. In Megami no Cafe, once a character overcomes an issue, there comes another. Because of course there comes another. People don't live and die with a single conflict throughout their lives now, do they? And that's why the characters don't lose any relevancy throughout the series. The manga juggles with these mini character arcs to keep all the girls in the spotlight, which I think is quite a clever structure for a harem series, because if you pick a favorite, you don't have to wait long for the time to shine. Now, I think I need to take a brief pause here and just clearly say that I do praise these characters because they are indeed very good for the genre they are in. In general though, there are better characters and you've definitely seen better characters. Let's not fool ourselves. But for the genre they are in, you know, this harem rom-com stuff, they are very very good. Especially because despite the obvious mystery, this is a 100% character driven manga. Plot-wise, if we set the How I Met Your Mother mystery aside, it's a good old slice of life. They just run the cafe, improving and extending their business. It does suffer from a lack of goals, in the sense that you don't have a particular plot point to look forward to, they don't encounter an issue that takes several chapters to solve, and that can make some chapters feel random. I suppose since it's mainly a slice of life, we shouldn't expect this kind of structure. We do, however, get a lot of focus on the characters. We jump from a character arc to the other, slowly working through their current issues and any future ones, cementing a bond between them, both familiar and romantic where there's the case. And as I said, these characters fit this slice of life structure perfectly. Now, let's talk a bit about the elephant in the room, or should I say the quintuplet in the room. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Seo Koji mentioned that he's a big fan of Negi Haruba's The Quintessential Quintuplets, a series I've kind of talked extensively about. And I'll be the first to mention that the influence is pretty obvious. Forget about the fact that Seo Koji initially wanted to name his manga The Quintessential Workers. That's a thing of the past, but he did choose to use some core, fundamental ideas that the Queen series was built on. Take the mystery aspect, which is the same, literally. One of these girls is Hayato's future wife. Now guess who? There's also a childhood friend who remembers Hayato but he doesn't. There's even the same joke about seeing a doppelganger in both series, made on the cheerful and happy-go-lucky girls. One of the girls uses the same "the moon is beautiful tonight" confession. Also, this panel, which I'm sure you know exactly where it is from. The theme of family also plays a crucial role in the series. Oka is literally Itsuki. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. I know some of these aspects aren't unique to the Quintes, they've been done before God knows how many times, and I don't think I would have mentioned them if Seo Koji himself didn't speak of the Quintes, but they are still there. Don't get me wrong, you would definitely not say that this is a ripoff or a carbon copy. Quite the contrary. Somebody commented on the first video I made on this manga. I mean, I know who commented, but I don't know whether he wants to be mentioned or not. Anyway, commented that in his opinion, Megami no Cafe Terrace is the quintessential quintuplets done right. And if we're talking about the main aspect this manga share, so far I kind of agree with his statement. Of course, who knows how this series is going to end, there is time to screw up, but so far, it does a lot of things better than the Quintes, like the characters. The prime example is Hayato. He's capable, smart, crafty and ambitious as Futaro, but he's also stern, in control, attentive and most importantly, not oblivious. And here's where this realistic behavior that I mentioned before comes into play. There's nothing wrong with high school characters not knowing about love and feelings, but to what extent does that remain believable? How oblivious can a character become before it stops being believable? Do you know what I mean? It's fine for a while, but after how many hints and suggestions does the character realize these feelings? Think about the "is she into you" type of memes. Hayato doesn't suffer from that problem. He knows about feelings like any guy around his age and he can pick up hints from the girls. For sure, he also gets embarrassed and teased, but he often understands the situation he's in. When it comes to the female characters, some are better, some are worse, some are the same. I wouldn't say there's a clear winner there, but the theme of family and especially the mysteries are handled so much better. So far, of course. I guess if you're a fan of quintessential quintuplets, you'd most definitely enjoy Megami no Cafe. There's probably no need to talk about the technical aspect when it comes to Seo Koji. The guy is a veteran, amazing and clean art style, great panel layout, character designs, backgrounds, really no faults at all, not that there could be any. It's a pretty looking manga that I would highly recommend reading to any fan of harem rom-coms. Now the only big question left is this: who does Hayato marry? Maybe I'll make a video on that.